Welcome to the Grit Reapers, the No BS podcast for online entrepreneurs.
I'm Gail.
And I'm Candice, and we're here to cut through the crap and give you the real truth about what it really takes to be successful online.
Let's get down to business.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Grit Reapers. We took a bit of a break. And so we are so excited to be back for season 3. And we are kicking off this season with a really something that's really relevant and very topical at the moment, and that is AI, and specifically AI tools for research. So this is Gail's spiel. This is where she plays best, and she, I'm sure, has a lot to share with us today on this topic, and hopefully something that she shares with you will be really helpful in your business. So we're going to start off, and Gail, I'm going to ask you, why, let's start like really simply, like why would somebody want to use an AI model to do research?
Okay, Cans, and hello, everybody. It's good to be back for another season. So, that is as you say, let's start simply, but it's a huge topic because people would use these research tools for a number of different ways. But I'm thinking that because of what our podcast is and who we serve, I'm going to give you some ideas for course creators, online coaches, online business owners, as to why these research tools are so important. The first one you can obviously think about, and it's stuff that you are told to do time and time and time again, but it used to be really difficult to do. And that was like competitor analysis, like looking at the niche that you're in and seeing what other people are doing. It used to take you hours of trolling through, um, you know, people's websites or Facebook groups or Reddit forums or anything, just trying to glean information about what your ideal clients were saying, and things like that. And now you can literally ask one of the platforms to do a deep research dive on your niche or your competitors, and it's done. Things again like, people do research for articles and for blogs. If it's part of your business, maybe you need to write a white paper or something. Maybe you want to give a giveaway, which might be like a research into the different AI platforms, or a research into, the different health methods or something like that. So it can be used for that kind of thing. It can be used just for so much and at the click of a button, whereas it used to take you forever to do these kinds of
Yeah.
tasks. So as a result, people just never really used to do them, or used to do them half-hearted. So yeah, just some ideas on the deep research.
Amazing. Do you have you seen any kind of, what are the most common ones that you do yourself or when you're working with clients? Like, what are you seeing practically that people are researching? Is it this kind of stuff like you've just mentioned?
Absolutely. And the more kind of automated, agents, bots, custom GPTs, whatever you want to call it, the more that people are turning to these, the more we can see how deep research and creating like really good training data for these bots, and how it's just elevated the way the bots respond. So that's definitely, one of the biggest use cases that I'm using it for at the moment. The other thing as well, and maybe not so much deep research, but just related, and it definitely, you get with some of the models, you get research, then you get deep research, you get deeper research, you
Mhm.
get deeper research if you're on a paid model. But the actual, when you're starting to plan out workflows, when you're starting to plan out projects, you can use these research tools to help you to actually plan it out, and they will go and gather information on different stages of the workflow so that you can have a really comprehensive like overview of what you're doing. So that's definitely one case. Competitor analysis and looking for opportunities in what you might think is a saturated market. So whereas before it was very difficult when you were looking at the overall market to see these gaps
Mm,
because you didn't have a broad spectrum, of websites or competitors or what people were doing. Now, when you do a deep research on competitor analysis, I've seen documents coming back 80 pages, 100 pages.
mm,
And then you've got a great base to start with. You in your initial prompt, you would tell it what you were looking for. So maybe you're looking to do a competitor analysis, you're looking to look at gaps in the market, you're looking to see, where offers are overlapping, where like there's sort of a condensing of offers that a
mhm,
lot of people are using the same sort of thing, and you can look for different things. So that helps a lot in identifying gaps. I worked with a client where we did this analysis in her industry, in her country, and what came out really clearly was that there was nobody who was offering the information for these CPD points, so the continuous personal development points. And she went straight in and she contacted the bodies that oversee the professional development. And she got in with the one big body who now sends her information to its database of like 60,000 members
wow,
to say, and her lead magnet gives them one CPD point, and then she brings them from the one CPD point. Like if you join the program,
right,
you'll
right.
get your CPD points for the year. So that was like a really big thing that she didn't know that nobody else was doing it. So that was like a really great use case.
Mm,
So
mm,
definitely in competitor analysis. And then the other thing that I'm doing a lot with my clients is personal analysis. So I always say to my clients, like, who do you serve? How do you help them? And we'll look at their websites, and then I'll say, what's going to be really interesting? Why don't we do a deep research run on you and your digital footprint across all your social platforms? And it will come back with a really nice analysis. And then you can start interacting. That's the really nice thing with these tools. You can then start interacting. So in your initial run, you could ask it things like, could you tell me who you believe the ideal client for this business is, and why, so that you can actually see its reasoning behind it.
mm,
Um, and then from there, you can see, what, actually, I thought I was serving this kind of person. My messaging and everything is attracting this kind of person. So maybe that's where the disconnects lie. It also just helps you to figure out if your messaging across your platforms is the same, or perhaps if your website says one thing, your socials are saying one thing. So that's really helpful, to do that kind of analysis. And again, because they're interactive tools, what I found is that the results that come back spark ideas for you to then ask further questions and
yeah,
find out more
yeah.
information.
I
So,
mean, it kind of reminds me, like I've had two thoughts since you've been sharing this. It's like, I remember when I was at school and we were given a project and we had to go and do research, right? I mean, my mother had encyclopedias, like
PDS,
printed encyclopedias. And then this thing called the internet came out. And it was like all of our brains were blown that you could go to this thing called Google and type in your question, and then all this information would come, right? And it almost feels like the progression of that. It's like now AI is the next progression in going from an encyclopedia to Google and now taking it to AI models that allow you to perform these deep dive researches in a matter of like nanoseconds, which
Yeah,
is actually
exactly.
so incredible. Um, the other thought I had, which is, you know, it's unbelievable to me that I had never considered doing what you just suggested. And I thought after this, I mean, I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to actually ask the model I use, which I'm sure we'll get to, and you'll tell us what you suggest. But, here are the social handles or here are the URLs. Tell me, what does this business do? Tell me about the audience. And I think what's so great about that is because they don't have human emotion. You're going to get like the raw truth,
Exactly. You
Not your
are
best friend trying
100%
not to hurt your feelings about your business,
exactly.
you
A
know?
100% sure. And it's completely fact-based.
Yeah.
So I had a client the other day again who is struggling a little bit with, where she fits in, like what her audience actually wants. And so she's done a little bit of deep diving. And the really nice thing with that is that, if you want to compare prices of other people's offers, it's there in black and white. It's
Mhm.
it's pulling it off of the online presence. So you can actually see, okay, so just what I was thinking for my price is pretty accurate, it's pretty standard. It just gives you so much more information
Mhm.
to work with.
Yeah.
The thing is though is that it is a little bit, you have to know a little bit better how to prompt for deep research. It's not as easy as just when we're
Mm.
using our AIs. You have to be quite you have to know kind of what you want, even if it's just initially. Once
Yeah.
the document comes out, once the report comes out, then it's great to like be able to read through it, and then you can start interacting with it. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the AIs are pretty good at helping you. So you're going to put in your what you want to do your research on, and most of them will give you a plan of what it's going to do, and then you can say yes, let's continue.
Okay.
Um,
Amazing.
the other thing that you can always do is if you're not 100% sure, you can always say to it, this is what I want to do. Ask me any questions
Mm.
if I haven't given you enough information, ask me the questions and then we'll do it.
Right.
So
Right.
that's a
Yeah.
nice way as well. If you're a little bit stuck, you kind of know what you want to do, but you're not exactly sure how to like explain it,
Yeah, 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 100%. Okay. And Gail, kind of what I was alluding to, what do you recommend? Like in your experience, what have been the best AI platforms or models that are really good at performing this kind of deep research?
Okay.
What do you suggest?
Okay, so actually, it's quite funny because the other day I was asked to take part in like an AI showdown, and it was really interesting. So there was the host, and then there were, I think, four of us, and we had Chat GPT, we had Claude, we had Grok, and we had Gemini. Okay, so I
Hmm.
was using Gemini because at the moment, Gemini is my favorite for deep research.
Wow.
Because, yeah, I know. And you know what? I have never really used Gemini ever,
Yeah.
but it is amazing for deep research. So we had those four. There was nobody doing Perplexity, which I think is also a good one for deep research. But so we were just comparing the four. And it was amazing to see the differences, right? And I think that there are definitely different use cases would suit the models, each model better.
Mm-hmm.
Claude was just like the overall overachiever. Like we laughed because we went from like simple things through to deep research through to like setting up workflows and
Right.
everything. And we just laughed because Claude was just like your A student,
Oh,
your actuary, your doctor, like Claude just
yeah.
blew
Well, me and
everybody.
Claude are like
Yeah,
this. So, like,
exactly.
I love my
Exactly.
Claude. Don't you
Yeah.
diss my Claude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Claude was really good as an overall for
Right.
everything, right? Grok, which I don't use often, but the lady who was demonstrating Grok is a big Grok user. And it seems like Grok has, which I didn't think because of Elon Musk and, the whole AI wars and everything, but apparently Grok has got a lot of security built into it. So, it's quite a good one if you are working with clients, if you are more
Mm,
concerned about security and using inputs for training and that sort of thing.
mhm.
And I think Grok 4 just dropped. So actually watching her use Grok was pretty impressive. It did pretty well. Its sources were accurate. It did good deep research. Um, ChatGPT was kind of just like, it's good.
Relax.
It's what everybody uses. It's what
Yeah.
everybody's kind of comfortable with, but it didn't really excel in
Mm,
in anything.
okay.
So, I think people stick with it because it's got some really nice features. And obviously you can build your custom GPTs very easily on
Hmm.
chat, but I wouldn't use chat for deep
Okay.
research. I think chat, they're saying chat GPT 5 is about to drop. And normally chat goes a bit like
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
before the updates, and it's just not doing well at the moment at all.
Okay.
So so chat for deep research at this stage I wouldn't use. Gemini is my favorite. I'm building a lot of custom GPTs. I'm building out a lot of workflow automations for people. And Gemini, the flash version as well as the pro version are great for research.
Wow.
You do have to just be careful. It can tend to have a bit of fluff added into it. So you do need to just be quite careful with your prompting, um, and just have like the structure that you want the training data to come out in, and to tell it that you are doing it specifically for training data for bots, so you want to give it the specific reason for the
Mhm.
training, the research. But I'm finding that my GPTs are just at the next level. And
Oh,
maybe I can
wow.
just quickly explain. It was one thing I didn't really understand. So, like for instance, Candace, you have an incredible framework for your content creation, right? And so I've created that GPT
Yes.
bot that works on Candace's framework. So it's got all her different types of posts. Now, if I had left it just at that, it would it would pull Candace's frameworks, but then it would pull its general knowledge
Mm,
about posting, right?
mm,
Now,
mm,
I've got a Facebook group and I want my posts structured specifically for community, for my Facebook
mhm.
group, okay? So I would then go out and ask Gemini to give me training data on things like, community content inside of Facebook groups, um, best format for Facebook posting. It might even have some information on like the algorithm and that kind of thing.
Mm,
So you could do this research with Gemini, explaining to it you're building this custom GPT. You've
right.
got the frameworks for the actual posts, but
Right.
now
Right.
you want to give that GPT more specialization. Otherwise, I could just take your framework, plug it into a normal thread, and
Yes.
say,
Yes,
make me a
exactly.
post. What you want to do with your GPT is to make it the specialist. So
Right.
that's when you would then go and get the deep research, get those documents to add
Right.
like as a knowledge source.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, Gail.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
This
then,
showdown that you did, this AI showdown, that
yeah,
sounds incredible. What was it filmed? Like if people want
it
to
so
watch that or listen?
it was it was in another creator's community. And
Okay.
so it was live, and she had invited the community. I believe she does lives in her community um, fairly regularly. And yeah, she just got hold of
Okay.
me and asked if I wanted to join in. And it was just,
Okay.
I've never actually done it sort of side by side,
Yeah.
same prompt,
Yeah.
different
Models.
platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really amazing. And from that, I've actually started using Claude more. So I always thought that Claude, my experience with Claude was that it's great for copywriting. You know,
Hmm.
it's really good conversationally. It's really good for writing copy for emails, that kind of stuff. But it actually shone. It shone in like
Yeah,
taking a
yeah,
workflow, taking a
yeah,
project,
yeah.
breaking it down into pieces, giving you checklists.
Well, I
So
must say, I am on the paid version of Claude,
yeah,
and I would say the last 3 weeks, every time I log on, I get a like a pop-up, and it's really pushing these new research features.
yeah,
Yeah.
these new
So
tools.
I realized, wow, like this is really going to the next level. But like I always say, you need some time to learn how to use it. And
Yeah,
if I go there, I'm like, I don't have the time. I just need to do what I need to do. So that is so incredible. All right. So Gail, if people want to learn a little more, like about the prompting or this research stuff, where can they find you? What should they do? Should they come join
okay.
your Facebook group? Is there a course you have? Like how can we help people?
Okay. So they can come and join my free Facebook group because I cover all sorts of things. And in fact, a little bit related is that Perplexity. I spoke about Perplexity
Yes.
earlier, although it wasn't part of the AI showdown. But Perplexity have just launched their own browser called Comet. And Comet is not only a browser, Comet is a doer. So just to give you an example, you decide, okay, here in South Africa, we have Woolies Dash or we have Checkers 6060. You decide
Which is
that,
a grocery delivery
yeah,
service for those
yes,
who
that's
don't
right.
know. Yes.
Like DoorDash, I guess. You know, people know DoorDash and
Yes.
stuff. So I can put into Comet, into my browser, I can say, I'm living in Howick in KwaZulu-Natal. Please, I'd like to place an order with Woolworths Dash. I need broccoli, cauliflower, pumpkin, milk, whatever. Hit
Right?
the go, and Comet will go to my Woolies Dash app. It will log
No
in. It will
ways.
put all those things in your basket, and it will leave you. It will wait for you to check out.
Oh my
So
word, that is
it's going
unbelievable.
to it's going to be able to book appointments. It's going to be able to go through, if you say, I'm going traveling in Italy and I'm going to these places, please can you give me the hotels, give me hotels. And then you say, yes, I like that hotel, that hotel, that hotel. It's going to send the booking
Yeah.
inquiry and everything for you. So
Holy
I
Moses.
haven't
Like
got
a little,
access.
your own little like personal assistant on the go.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I haven't got access to it yet. I'm busy on the wait list. I've like
Oh,
waited
wow.
on the wait list like 17 times.
Okay.
But it looks incredible. So
Okay. So
okay,
this is
so
the kind of stuff you talk about in your
this is the
Facebook
kind of
group.
stuff we talk about
Okay.
in the Facebook group. So it's broad. It's like I give prompts, I give tips, I give what's happening, like all of this
Amazing.
stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the one thing. The other option would be to come and join my email list because I run a 3-day challenge where we actually build out your own custom GPTs. And then during that challenge, we go into the deep research. So we talk about the deep research. I give you the prompts, the correct structure for your GPT, for your custom training instructions,
Hmm?
and your knowledge sources.
Um,
So they can just, we'll drop that link.
yes.
I've got a email opt-in link, and they can just
Perfect.
come on and get all the latest on AI,
Amazing.
online course creating, all of
Okay.
that.
So we're going to link the Facebook group. We'll also link how you can get onto Gail's list. But I mean, this is the future. I mean, I know there are very strong and polarized opinions on AI. That is not what this conversation is. It is for those that are interested in learning on like how and which models and how can you get this information so that you can use it in a positive,
Mm.
propelling way for your business. That is how you can do it. Get on Gail's email list or come and join her Facebook group. But Gail, this has been like eye-opening, and I'm so excited to go and try that little like I'm a little nervous, I have to say, like excited, but also nervous, But I will
Yeah,
keep you updated with what I get
okay.
back.
Cams, I'm gonna send you the prompt that you will
Amazing.
use for your personal deep dive.
Yes, exactly. Okay, amazing. Thanks so much, Gailey, and thank you everybody for listening. If AI is something that you are keen on hearing more about and you have like specific things you want to know about, please let us know. Gail, this is like I said, it is her playground. She loves talking about it, and we are only too happy to give you what you want. So please reach out. Otherwise, we will catch you next week, and we'll see you then.